No nanny had survived 3 days with the Millionaire's twins. Some lasted 2. Most barely made it past lunchtime on day 1. They were clever, dangerously so, with an almost supernatural sense for detecting weakness. Crying over spilled juice meant you were finished. Losing your patience meant you were gone. Their father, Richard Kensington, a tech millionaire with a calendar busier than the stock exchange, was running out of options. The twins' mother had passed away when they were 3, and since then, parenting had been outsourced, unsuccessfully. That's when she arrived. Emily Clark was 29, wore second-hand cardigans, and drove a dented red hatchback that coughed every time she shifted gears. She wasn't a super nanny with a glossy resume or degrees from prestigious schools. She had worked at a community center daycare, managed the after-school program at her church, and spent the last year caring for her grandmother. On paper, she was unimpressive. But when the agency called and offered a very challenging private position, she said yes without hesitation. She needed the money. When she first walked into the Kensington home, the twins sized her up like 2 seasoned generals assessing a new recruit. Olivia, with her messy ponytail and sharp eyes, whispered something into Max's ear. He smirked. "You must be Olivia and Max," Emily said. "I'm Emily. You won't last 3 days," Max said. "Bet you cried before dinner," Olivia added. Emily leaned closer, lowering her voice as if sharing a secret. "I cry all the time. Sometimes over burnt toast. Doesn't bother me one bit." The twins blinked, caught off guard. The first morning started with a trap. The twins claimed they were hungry, then led her to the kitchen where they had spilled an entire box of cereal onto the floor and poured milk over it, creating a crunchy swamp. Emily stepped right into it, literally. Her sneakers squelched. Instead of snapping, she calmly set the milk carton upright, grabbed a towel, and began cleaning. "You're supposed to yell," Olivia said, confused. "And you're supposed to help," Emily replied. "Why would we?" Max began. "Because if you help me clean this up, I'll tell you the best way to make chocolate milk so it tastes like a milkshake." 5 minutes later, they were wiping up cereal and sipping chocolate milk. The next day, the twins escalated. They hid every single pair of Emily's shoes. When she went to leave for the grocery store, she found only mismatched socks waiting by the door. "Guess you're stuck here," Max taunted. Emily shrugged, grabbed a roll of garbage bags, and cut 2 holes in the bottom of one. She slipped it over herself like a rain poncho. "Grocery shopping in style," she said, grabbing her keys. The twins burst out laughing. When she returned, she brought them each a small pastry from the bakery, not as a bribe, but because they made her laugh. The twins didn't know what to do with that. The 3rd day was the day every nanny failed. It was their mother's birthday. They never talked about her. On this day, they became whirlwinds of destruction, breaking things, screaming, picking fights with each other. Most nannies walked out in tears by noon. By mid-morning, Olivia was hiding in her closet, refusing to come out, and Max was outside throwing rocks at the garden fountain. Emily didn't order them to stop. She sat on the grass, not far from Max, and started stacking the rocks he hadn't thrown yet into a little tower. "You're not gonna yell?" Max asked. "Nope." "Why not?" "Because you look like you need someone to sit with you, not yell at you." He didn't answer, but after a minute, he started adding rocks to her tower. Later, Emily went to Olivia's room. She knocked softly. "I'm making grilled cheese. I could really use an assistant chef." There was silence. Then the closet door creaked open. Olivia followed her downstairs. They made lunch in silence, but when Emily served the sandwiches, she pulled out 3 little paper cups. "Hot chocolate shots. My grandma made them on bad days. You drink them in 1 sip? Makes you feel brave." Max smirked. Olivia rolled her eyes. But they drank. That night, after the twins went to bed, Richard called from his home office. "So they haven't locked you out of the house yet?" "Not yet," Emily said. "You're different. Most people try to control them. You're not doing that." They've had a lot taken from them. Control probably feels like the only thing they have left. Richard was quiet. You'll stay? I'll try. Days turned into weeks. There were battles, messy rooms, late bedtimes, homework wars, but also small victories. Max started leaving doodles on her grocery lists. Olivia began sitting beside her on the couch, pretending to read while Emily worked on crossword puzzles. One rainy afternoon, Olivia appeared in the kitchen with a shoebox. Inside was a photograph of their mother holding the twins as toddlers. It's her birthday again next week, Olivia said quietly. Emily didn't say anything. She just reached out and took Olivia's hand. When the day came, there were no tantrums. No rock throwing. Instead, Emily found them in the kitchen, trying, and failing, to bake a lopsided chocolate cake. They didn't ask for help, but she slid in beside them, guiding their hands when the frosting got too runny. Later, the three of them sat at the table, eating the crooked cake straight from the pan. You lasted more than 3 days, Max said. Way more, Olivia added. Emily smiled. Guess I did the impossible.